Just because we're dumbasses don't mean that you can be too. So don't do any of this shit we do at home. Liberty City has known to have some of the fastest top 10 street racers in the nation, and they're down to prove it anytime, anywhere, on any street. But with our competition getting faster, drivers have to work harder and do whatever it takes to stay on top of our list. Because if you want to survive on this list, you have to be an outlaw. This is Street Outlaws. Hello everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Street Outlaws. This week, all of the racers of the 405 list are here to enjoy one of the nicest and newest racetracks on the circuit, the LSIA Dragway. And after 2 weeks of being absent, Eagle's back to see how far he can come back up that list. And Quan, after losing first to Germ due to truck problems last week, can he climb back up and get that crown? Now, let's go down to the round robin. And now for the second time trying to make it on our 405's top 10 list, Chevy in that Sabre Turbo calls out Chun in his Stallion for the number 10 spot. Chun gets the whole shot. And takes him down to keep his number 10 spot. And now for the 405's list shakeup. Chun in the Stallion calls out Twisted in the Phoenix for 9th. Twisted gets the whole shot. Chun pulls around on the top end and takes the number 9 spot. Second race, Poppy in his Buccaneer calls out Eagle in a Slam Van for the 7th spot. Good takeoff by both. Poppy takes the win and takes that number 7 spot. Third race, Will in the Vigero calls out Swag in the Tampa for the number 5 spot. Both drivers get a good takeoff. The Swag's going to pull on the top end and defend his number 5 spot. Fourth race, Roland calls out Gantz for the number 3 spot. Gantz gets the whole shot. And pulls ahead on the top end to defend his number 3 spot. Fifth race, Quan in his Slam Van calls out Germ and his Ruiner for the number 1 spot. Quan looks like he gets the whole shot and leaves Germ in the dust and takes that number 1 spot back. And now for round 2 of racing. Sixth race, Chun calls out Eagle for the number 8 spot. Looks like Chun got the whole shot. The Eagle gets a little loose and Chun hangs on to take that number 8 spot. Seventh race, Poppy calls out Will for the number 6 spot. Both drivers get a good launch. And Poppy pulls ahead and takes that number 6 spot. Eighth race, Swag calls out Roland for the number 4 spot. Swag gets the whole shot. Roland trying to run him down. But Swag barely inches out the win and takes that number 4 spot. Now let's see that in instant replay. Ninth race, Gantz calls out Germ for the number 2 spot. Gantz gets the whole shot. And takes the win and takes that number 2 spot. And now for 3rd round of racing. 10th race. Chun calls out Will for that number 7 spot. Will gets the whole shot. But Chun runs him down on the top end and takes that number 7 spot. 11th race. Poppy calls out Roland for the number 5 spot. Both drivers get a good launch. But Roland holds him off and defends his number 5 spot. 12th race. Swag calls out Germ for the number 2 spot. Germ gets the whole shot. Swag inches ahead and takes that number 2 spot. 13th race. Gantz calls out Quan for the number 1 spot. Quan gets out on him. Gantz hits a double clutch. And barely comes around on the top end to take the crown and earn that number 1 spot. Now, let's see that in instant replay. And now for 4th round of racing. 14th race. Chun calls out Poppy for that number 6 spot. Poppy gets an early lead off the line. Chun can't run him down. Poppy defends his number 6 spot. Final race of the night. Swag calls out Quan for that number 2 spot. Take off. Quan gets the 60 foot. Swag can't run him down. Quan defends his number 2 spot. After a long night of racing, this is the list shakedown. And as your host and creator of the original 405 Street Outlaws, I want to thank everybody for watching, and this is Street Outlaws.